And now it's time for the latest exciting episode of Doz's Television Workshop.
Right, about time we did a telly. So drag this one off the round to it pile. This is a Pye something V30. So anyway, here we are. So round again. Set our first grid voltage, 45. Set our cutoff again. Oh, cutoff looks to be a bit sharper now, which is good news. Read emission. Would you look at that? Right, well, we're about 4 days into our warming process, and I can confirm that the transformer is just warm to the touch. 114 microfarads, 0.37 ohms. How can that still be any good after 73 years? I have got no brightness on the screen whatsoever. Let me check that EHT rectifier again. No, I have got nothing on our EHT rectifier. It looks like our line stage isn't working at all. We need to get that Pye LV30 out of there and just get this anode cap attended to, because this is, quite frankly... Oh. There's your problem. I've been to have a look at the stock department, and I do indeed have a Pye LV30. Expensive valve, look, 20 shillings. So hopefully it's a new one. It might not be. I might have put an old one back in the box, as I tend to do. Yeah, that's been pre-enjoyed. Let's hope it's got some emission. I'm not going to chuck this one away, because there is the tiniest little pip of wire hanging out the top of there, and I could probably glue a new top on it and solder that up. But just for now, let's pop a new valve in there. I'm going to lose this wire. It's absolutely baked, as Shango would say, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Let's have a bit of fresh solder on there. There we go. That's utterly horrible. This clip ain't up to much either. It's all corroded and unpleasant, and I did have some in my box of valve bases somewhere. I did have some top cap connectors. Yeah, that sort of thing. That's quite nice. It's got a bit of an unnecessary something in there. Disconnect. Switch off before disconnecting. Yeah, damn right. Just wondering if that might get killed in the heat. Yeah, because it does. It's going to get hot. Let's see what else I've got. Let's go with this, and just to prove a point, maybe. It does look like it's got a screw in the middle of it, so maybe I could take the screw out and see if we can make good. Or is it all going to fall to bits? Well, I only need the cap bit, don't I? So if I solder a wire to the top of that, we should be good to go, really. Let's see if it'll take solder, which it does nicely. Okay, I'll get some of that wire I used before. This is probably not good enough for the voltage, but it'll have a grommet in there anyway. Talking of which, I need to find my box of grommets as well. That one could probably do with changing as well, although it'll do for now. This is PTFE insulated, it's not PVC or anything, so chances are fairly good it'll be alright anyway. Right, have I got grommets in here? I've got a feeling the answer is no, which means they're in my garage. So hang on there just 1 second while I go and find them. Found a little grommet on our top cap of our line output valve. Down to the line output transformer. Just get rid of those furry bits. Right, new valve in, grommet in place, all set to go. Let's give it some beans. Okay, that's full mains. And let's actually see if our line stage comes up and runs. You're on the screen up there. Let's just dim the lights. Okay, I've got heaters in the rectifier, heaters in the line output valve. Here comes the frame. There we go. Frame is running. Sounds a little bit fast, but here comes the line stage. See if we get our EHT rectifier lit. Now, one thing we can do just to see if we've got an EHT is to just draw a small arc with our screwdriver from the anode. Nothing. Let's see if we've got anything on the inputs to our EHT rectifier. Yes. Right, so we've got a small arc there. But yeah, we've got nothing on the final anode. And I can't see the heater in the rectifier. So that's a problem. Let's just have a look at that arc on the output again. On the input, sorry. It's a bit weak and weedy. Alrighty. But that is progress. Okay, let's pop the light back on. So we have a semi-alive line output stage, which is good news, really. Certainly not bad news. We could still very much have a bad output transformer though that's damping our oscillation. So let's just slide the whole thing on the side again and inspect in here and see if there's anything horrible going on. Can't see anything horrible going on. So what we really need to do now is see if the whatever's driving our line stage is running. So I think this calls for a little look at the schematic and go around from there. And yeah, so back to the computer. Right, the line stage is self-oscillating, which means it doesn't have a separate line oscillator valve. It's just set up an action between the transformers and that. We know it is oscillating because we can draw an arc from the high voltage output from our transformer. What we don't know is our heater winding is okay. I've got a multimeter on volts ohms here, and as you can see going straight across there we've got next to no ohms, but we've also got the filament in circuit. So what I need to do is just remove the filament from one end of the transformer, and unfortunately it's the inside end, and just see if we've got a heater winding that's continuous in the transformer. So I'm just going to get in there. I don't suppose anybody's got this on camera, and just desolder one end of our EHT rectifier. There we go. Right. And then hook that wire out of the way. and see if we've got quite a low resistance across these two pins. 3.4 ohms. Why am I seeing a negative 3.4 ohms? Any voltage on there for some reason. That's quite bizarre. Either which way, we have got continuity of some description there. That's worrying, because that might mean our output transformer is shot, at which point this is likely to be game over. Yeah. All is not lost yet. We've got a lot of other things to check. So I'm just going to put our filament back down. There we go. Right. And I suppose we better start checking values around our line output stage to see if things are as they should be. So I'm just going to hook the set back on its side. There we go. So we've obviously got a lot of resistors and things in the bottom of here. So yeah, we need to start checking some of that. So right, what have we got around V7? Not a lot. It just goes straight to the line output stage. R46 might be worth a shout. 46, which is 1.5k. E9. R46, which is that fella right down the bottom of there. These sort of dog bone style of resistors that I dislike, but they were of their time. Oh, can't see my meter now. Read that out for me, will you? $50k. That doesn't seem to be right. I think the best thing I can do is to move this one out of the way and then see what we've got. I wonder what that resistor is while I'm in there. That's R47. R47. Ah, that's the snubber resistor, I think. R47, 2.2k. $2.2k. This one here I'm worried about. It does look very crusty. $1,600 ohms. It's not far enough out of the way to stop play. What about this fella here? It's a wire wound thing. It's going to be quite low. 41 ohms, wouldn't doubt it. Oh dear. It looks like we may have a sick transformer, which would be very sad. We can disconnect the transformer and do what they call a ring test on it, which will give us a definite has our winding failed result. So yeah, one thing I could just do as well, I'll just check that wiring diagram that I found on the bottom of the, scratched on the bottom of here. 2 pink and 2 purple. I can only see 1 purple. brown and 2.2k. Yep. And then we got blue. Yeah. Two pinks and two purples. Why have I only got one purple going there? I got a pink. I got a purple. Let me get my other light. Where have we got other purples? There's a purple coming in there. Ah, yeah, no, there are two purples. And that goes over, presumably, to our sync input somewhere. V6. Let's just have a little look around V6. We know we've got frame running, so I think that's V6 is the sync separator. Let me just have a look. Ah, that is in front of the line output stage. This is our fringe amplifier. Where's our frame stage then? So we've got power supply, line stage. That's our fringe amp. V14. Let me just have a little look. V14, no. What is V14? Oh, V14, yeah. That is frame. So this might not be a fringe set. Oh dear, I'm confusing myself. That is frame. So we know frame is going. Frame gets its sync from V6, I think. And line as well. So let's have a look. Circuit description. Sync separator is V6. Yeah. That is our sync separator, and it is one of these valves here. Okay, so what happens if we had a horrible DC condition up here that stopped that working and was snubbing the line stage so it couldn't start up? It's entirely possible, especially with all those nasty waxy capacitors left in here. Yeah, unfortunately we haven't got any input, any details, sorry, for the voltages on our line output valve. There is sort of screen volts listed, and we've got no waveforms or anything, because back in the days it was a rare thing to have an oscilloscope with one of these sets, so, or in the workshop. Right, okay, so round V6 we have got R42 and R43 feed of the anode. 42, 6.8k, 43, 22k. That's in E6. Let's go and have a look. E6 down in this lot here. So they are along here somewhere. So V6. I wonder, you know, if, because I'm going to start investigating over here, I think the next thing to do is actually to take this transformer, disconnect it, and do a ring test. Let's make that happen. Well, this sees the return of scope cam. So here's our line output transformer. As you can see, it's in pretty distressed condition. The pitch is in hell of a state. Not surprised if this is very duff. First thing we want to do is we want to disconnect the filament to the EHT rectifier again, because that will damp any oscillation we see in there. Alright, there we go. That is disconnected. And then we're going to need the calibrator output on our scope. I shall just move down so you can see. That's the square wave calibrator, which you normally put your probe on for probe compensation. We're going to be using that to drive our transformer. So yeah, let's put that back up so you can see that screen there. So yeah, we need to check if this transformer rings. We're going to hit it with that 1 kHz square wave, and we should see some rings come back. I will show you what I mean. Right, so yeah, let's connect the line output transformer up in the appropriate way. Right, so the calibrator goes to our top cap, and the scope probe then goes back to the overwind, which is on this end here. And we should, let's hit auto set and see what comes out. Yeah, that's not good. So we should see a good healthy ring there. So you can see we're hitting the transformer with our square wave there. Let me move that left a bit and down a bit. We're hitting the transformer with our square wave, and that causes it to ring. So as you can see there, the oscillation goes away. Now if I put the filament back down, that will effectively snub the ring, and it'll all go to pot. It's like having a shorted turn on there. So if I pop that back in, hopefully we'll now see a difference where it's awful. No, it looks the same. That is grim news. I think we've got a bad transformer, because that has made no difference unless our filament is open, which I think we've proved it wasn't. But we'll have a look. We'll have another EHT rectifier if that's all the problems we've got, but no, that's not ringing well at all. No, that filament's absolutely fine. We have a bad line output transformer, the bane of the vintage TV repairer. So it has developed a short circuit turn somewhere on it. Yeah, not quite sure what we're going to do with that one really. We could, depends where the shorted turn is. If it's on the overwind, we could remove the overwind and then do a tripler trick to get some EHT going. But it's knowing where that thing has gone short. I'll tell you what though, now we know what the problem is. We don't have anything to lose. So yeah, I can't just disconnect the overwind electrically, because that's not going to make any difference. For the simple reason is the short circuit turn will still be there. So physically I'd have to cut the thing off. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the HT rectifier off. I'm going to I wonder where the extra turn is for the heater winding actually, because that may have failed. I'm going to remove the EHT rectifier from here and just, I think, soak this in some white spirit, Woods alcohol if you're in the States, just so this pitch dissolves, and then maybe we can see where our problem lies. What have I got to lose? Nothing. Just to prove the point, I've just set up a known good transformer here, and you can see what that ring looks like on there compared with our Pye transformer. Our Pye transformer is dead. Right, well, it's the following day, and as you can see, I've been slowly picking the crusty, horrible pitch off this transformer, just to try and give us a chance when we submerge it in a bit of white spirit in a minute. I've got my mason jar, so yeah, we can just submerge that now. It really is very crusty and horrible. One thing I better do before I chuck it in the mason jar is just take out these grommets. Oh, they're disintegrating. They're sort of a rubber mount, so those can come off because there won't be anything left of them if we leave them in there for very long. So just take those out. They're all fallen to bits. Incidentally, I did do another ring test on this after the camera stopped, because I wanted a photograph of it. It was even worse. So I don't know whether things are rapidly failing, which might be a good sign. It might not be a good sign, but it might be a good sign that we stand a chance of, you know, affecting a repair. But you can also see the transformer is sort of bent. So anyway, in it goes. Oh no. I said in it goes, but is that going to happen? Just about. And yeah, I've been out and I bought some white spirit, so just submerge that, and I'm going to chuck it outside. And cool. Dozproof lid. Chuck it outside because it's going to stink, so I don't want it stinking up the workshop, and I'm going to leave it there best part of 2 weeks, I would imagine. Just take it out and agitate it every now and again. So yeah, just submerge that, and that will just quite rapidly dissolve all that nasty pitch off there. And you can see it's gone black already. So yeah, most unpleasant. I'm going to have a clear up of all this rubbish and sort of pause this project and put it to one side. And yeah, we'll come back at a later date. Yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, but is it going to be the end of the set? Who knows? I need to call this one here because I've got other stuff I need to do, and yeah, that transformer, as of the time of recording this little outro bit, has been soaking for about a week. I'm going to leave it for as long as I can, really. I've been on some of the forums, and it is not uncommon apparently for, after a transformer has had a good clean and a soak, for them to ring again, and then you coat them in varnish as I've done previously, and yeah, might be all right, but it is going to take a few weeks to do. So we will come back to that and see if we can get a picture out of the thing. But until then, click like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you really soon here on Doz's Television Workshop. Cheers now, bye.
Oh, my screen went crack. The moment that it buzzed, this screen went black. I never will forget those colors lost the track the moment that I turned it on. Oh, my heart went pop with static in the air, those channels dropped. It played my favorite show, made my laughter stop, but now it's just a broken song. Oh, my antenna's bent, it won't catch any waves, my heart's content. I sit with memories like shadows, they prevent the happiness we shared long gone. Oh, my heart went pop with static in the air, those channels dropped. It played my favorite show, made my life stop, but now it's just a broken song. was grooving to a jazzy to my favorite tunes that would sweep me along. Just a shuffle on the floor when I heard the buzzing sound that ended the throng. Oh, my heart went off with static in the air. Those channels dropped. It played favorite show, made no not stop. But now what now? It's just a broken song.